Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yay, summer reading. Oh, goodness. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just give you guys a little peek at what's coming this evening. I'm going to share a little bit about the reading challenge, and then we're going to have each of the featured authors share a little bit about themselves and their books. And then we're going to open it up to questions from you guys too. So that's kind of how it's going to go. So first of all, welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is the 6th annual Logos and Mythos Book Club. I'm sorry. See, I'm used to saying book club because I say it like every month. Summer Reading Challenge, the Logos and Mythos Summer Reading Challenge. So thank you guys for joining us. I am so excited to introduce to you guys our featured authors. And each of the featured authors this summer are Indie Author Project winners from 2022. So quick introduction before I tell you more about the challenge. First, we have J.S. Farmer. Jen wrote Blue Sky Gone, and she is the Florida Indie Author Project winner. Next, we have J.A. Curtis. I'm going to let somebody in. And she is, she wrote, I have my list in front of me so I don't forget anything, Lies of the Haven, and she is Nevada's Indie Author Project winner. Then we have Annie Lisenby. And if anybody, guys, if I say y'all's name wrong, please tell me. Okay, she wrote a 3-letter name, and she is the Missouri Indie Author Project winner. And then we have Alina Rubin, and she wrote A Girl with a Knife. She is Illinois' Indie Author Project winner. And then you got me, Joy E. Rancatore. Any Good Thing won the Louisiana Indie Author Project Award. So we are y'all's featured authors for this summer. We also have some other authors. In fact, one of them happens to be with us. Julie Meyerson Brown happens to be in the audience with us tonight, and you can wave. And so you're going to get to see her again and actually get to talk to her in one of our later events. So we've got so many things planned, so many exciting things coming up. Let me very quickly kind of go through and tell you how summer reading works. I'm going to share my screen because I think this is probably the easiest way to just kind of go through it. This is the main hub. Let's see. Can y'all see a website? No. Okay. I did something wrong, clearly. Okay. I even tested this right before we started, and it was working fine then. It's all good. So go to joyerancatori.com/summer-reading, and I will put that link in the chat in just a few minutes. But that is the hub for everything. And I've tried to consolidate it this year to make it as easy as possible. So if you go to that site, you'll be able to click directly to where you can log the books that you read. I have a direct link to that post. So whenever you finish a book and you want to record that you have read that category, you'll be able to go directly from that page to the post. You'll also be able to find the links to RSVP for our events like this one and our author chats, which will be coming up. You'll get to do that from the page. You get to click on the lovely pictures of each of these amazing women and learn more about them and their books. You will also be able to go directly to replays. So I record all of our events, and you'll be able to go and watch the replays whenever you have time. So pretty much everything you'll be able to do directly from that page. And one other thing that I'm super excited about this year, this is a new thing. In the past, I have had a tracker where you can just kind of record the books that you read. But this year's tracker is like on steroids. So it is a 28-page downloadable PDF where you can not only record the books that you read, you can also see and read the bios of each of the authors. You can get recommendations for books that you can read for each of the categories. You have also a full list of all the books that these authors have written. So all in one place, and you can get that there on that page as well. I think that's pretty much what's on the page. The way that the challenge works is there are ways to win, multiple ways to win, okay? So just by coming tonight, you guys are automatically in the running to win one of our incredible book swag prize packs. I said it. I can't believe it. All right, so I am still getting stuff in for this, but this is just a sneak peek, okay? You guys are going to get a ton of stuff in these swag packs. So everybody who attends one of our Authors of the Roundtable events, is what I call these, will be entered to win in just a few minutes. When someone else is talking, I'm going to put everybody's name into something, and I'll draw it at the end, and you will win a prize pack. So that's one of the ways, just to show up to one of these 3 Authors of the Roundtable events. Then, if you like to win autographed copies of books, all you have to do is participate by commenting on the Facebook post, showing up for the author chats on each of the weeks. So each of our featured authors is going to have a full week. So during that week, the more you comment on posts, you show up for her author chat, and if you also participate with, you can comment on the replay. So if you missed the live thing, you can comment on the replay and get points that way instead. And the person with the most points at the end of the featured authors week will win that autographed copy. Okay, so that's those prizes. And we have 2 grand prizes. And the way you win those is, the first is the most points for the entire summer. Okay, so that racks up all summer long. The most points at the end will either win a $25 gift card or your choice of any of the author's books. Okay, and the same for the other grand prize. It's the same prize choice. And the way you win that one is by reading the most books. So I have 8 categories of books, and the more books you read, the higher the chance that you're going to win that one. And if we have ties in either of these things, I'll do a drawing. And that's kind of how that works. So I think that's pretty much everything. Does anybody have any questions about how the challenge works? Because I can answer those right now before we start talking to each of the authors. Okay, or you can also put them in the chat if you want. Right, so now without further ado, I am going to start turning it over to our authors. So I'm going to go in order of our weeks. So yes, so Jen, that would be you first. So this is J.S. Farmer. And if you ladies will just tell a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the book that you are giving away on your week, and then we'll just kind of go around in order.
Great. Thank you, Joy. So I go by the name J.S. Farmer as my pen name, but my name is Jennifer Farmer. I am a former police officer, which was part of the inspiration of writing this book to begin with. Did go from being a police officer into some government work. Then I was a stay-at-home mom for quite some time, and I am currently a professor of criminology at Flagler College. But before I went back to work, I sat down in 2019 and wrote Blue Sky Gone, which was my debut novel. So kind of something I had always wanted to do. Never imagined that I would ever be able to do it. So it was kind of a scary thing. I'm sure that we've all had those feelings and those emotions when you're tackling something so big. So I'm sure that you can relate to that. So Blue Sky Gone is a story about 9/11. So it's a very difficult topic to have tackled. It was a very emotional book to write. So it does become very, very emotional and very detailed with the events of 9/11. But it is also a beautiful story about 2 sisters and the love between these 2 sisters and this undying devotion. One sister is a recruit in the police academy during 2001 when 9/11 happens. And I was also a police officer or a police recruit in the academy in 2001 when 9/11 happened. So a great deal of the book actually happens through my eyes and the way I saw the day go down. And the other sister, Hannah, is an employee at in the South Tower she's in the finance industry. So as you can imagine, their two worlds kind of intersect, even though they have these two very different worlds. They do intersect under some pretty tragic circumstances on the day of 9/11. Blue Sky Gone also not only takes the reader through the days and weeks before 9/11 and the day of, but it also takes the reader all the way to 20 years later, which was really what I wanted to do, was to publish it for the 20th anniversary to bring, awareness and also remembrance to the day. So the book does take the reader through 20 years beyond and some of the issues that we're still dealing with today and the aftermath of 9/11.
It's a fantastic book. You tackle a difficult topic, but you do it with so much hope and joy in there as well. So
thank you very much. That was the goal. Thank you.
All right, so next up is Jenny.
Hi, I'm Jenny Curtis. I write under the pen name J.A. Curtis, and my book is Lies of the Haven. It's a young adult urban fantasy adventure story, and I had a lot of fun writing this. It was my debut novel. I published it in 2020, and I wanted to write something. At the time, I was teaching middle school. I was teaching middle school history and math at a charter school, and I wanted to write something that would be kind of exciting, kind of fast-paced, that my students would enjoy. Because there's a lot of kids at school that are they don't enjoy reading as much, and so I wanted to write a story that I thought my students would enjoy, and so that's kind of was the inspiration for writing this story. And what it is, it's about a girl who was raised as a human, but she finds out later that she's a fairy, and there's these two factions of fairies that are led by these rival brothers who are basically fighting over her. She's supposed to be this fairy leader, and they're fighting over her because they want her to lead their group. And she kind of has to decide where do I belong, right? Do I belong back with my humans, my family, or do I belong with this group of fairies? So that's kind of the basis of the story. And the cool thing I really like about this story is that they have, I don't know if you can see, but they have these tattoos on their arms that they carry around, and that's their fairy guardian. And their fairy guardian can come to life, and they fight for them in battle. So there's a lot of action and adventure in the story. And like I said, it's very fast-paced and just a fun read. And that was kind of what I was going for, for my students and stuff. So that's my book. I'm from Henderson, Nevada, and I have a couple kids, and I work from home and I write. So it's a lot of fun.
And so those of you guys who know me know why I liked her book. Fairies, the tattoos, that's totally up my alley. All right, next is Annie.
Hi, I'm Annie Lisenby, and I'm coming to you from my car. I was at an event with my husband for his boss's retirement party, and it went a little long, so we thought we would be back, but now we're on an hour drive home. So I live in Southwest Missouri in the Ozarks, which is nothing like that TV show on Netflix, from what I hear. I've never actually seen that one, but people say it's very different. I wrote a book called A Three-Letter Name. It is a teen survival romance. So very much a romance, but also a very strong survival element because it follows the characters live on an island where there's no technology, and they all have roles within the community, and they have to prove their worth. Well, there's also vicious beasts who live in the forest who come out and try to hunt the people at night. So the female main character, she was what was called a listener. She'd be up in the trees listening, and she'd sound the alarm if the beast started to attack. But she becomes hard of hearing after an illness, and she has to literally choose between death of being banished to the ocean or marrying a stranger. She goes ahead and marries the stranger, but soon discovers he has his own disability. He has a mangled foot and walks with a crutch. Well, the beast start doing things differently than ever before, and they decide we have nothing left to lose. Let's try to hunt them and finally save the island once and for all. This was really inspired by a couple of experiences when I was in elementary school. I went to a magnet school that was classrooms incorporated with hearing, deaf, and hard of hearing children. So I learned sign language at a young age and learned to really value and appreciate the deaf community. And I still use sign today. I have 2 kids, and my son, he is ADHD and sometimes does better with visual cues than verbal ones. So it's very useful for that. And then I also had a very bad fall before my son was born. So it's been like 9 years ago now. And I have a metal plate in my leg. So I was on crutches for a solid 4 months as I healed from that surgery and whatnot. So that was my inspiration for the male main character, and used a lot of my experiences there. But it's very much a book of my heart. It's got a lot of fun romance and 2 people thrown together that don't want each other, but maybe find out that they need each other.
And I absolutely fell in love with both of your characters. They, yes, very much so.
Well, thank you.
Next is Alina.
I am Alina Rubin. I'm from Niles, Illinois. The book I wrote is called The Girl with a Knife. It's a historical fiction. So I never really thought about writing until the pandemic. I was home working in IT, and I spent a lot of time watching television and especially historical miniseries. And somehow I got an idea that I want to write about this woman surgeon in 19th century. But at the time, women could not be doctors, so she disguises herself as a man to study in medical school. And that just idea just seemed so interesting to me. And even though I knew so little about medicine, I just wanted to research and write the story. So that's how it kind of came about. It's been a journey since then. I wrote a sequel and a prequel, and I continue to write the series.
Yeah, you've been busy. And I loved your book, and I adore historical fiction. I really would like to write more of that, and so I appreciated the obvious research that you did, that you put into this book, and yet it's such a beautiful story. Like, you just want to keep reading. So let's see, I guess it's my turn. So this is Any Good Thing, and this is my debut novel. It is part of a larger collection called Carolina's Legacy Collection. It was supposed to just be this one book, and then my characters decided otherwise. So I had other characters from the book that just wanted their stories told, and that's kind of where we are. We are 3 books out with one on the way, the beginning of next year, and that will complete the collection. So Any Good Thing, it is a story of I hate talking about my own book. Y'all understand this. It's so hard to explain your own book, I feel like, but it follows a character named Jack Calhoun, and Jack has a lot of trouble in his past. Some he's caused, but others that have happened to him. And he has to go on a journey to figure out who he is and what life is all about. And his journey takes him into the Marine Corps, to the deserts of Iraq, and back to the mountains of North Carolina, and all over the place in kind of a story that's a road to redemption story. And Jack has kind of become my heart. I love him. He is a Marine, and so there are elements of dealing with PTSD and all of those things. And it was such an honor for me to be able to interview some Marines for this book, because I was not a Marine. So I didn't go through what Jack went through, but I have some amazing people in my life who have, and they helped me with this book a great deal. So that is a little bit about the book. And I am a multi-genre indie author, so just means that I write a bunch of different things. I also write fantasy. I have a nonfiction book out as well, and historical fiction. I definitely want to get more into that down the road. So that's a little bit about me. All right, so now I'm going to kind of open it up for any questions that you guys might have. And y'all are welcome to just unmute yourselves and ask your question, Or if you aren't comfortable doing that, you can also put the question in the chat. Either way is totally fine. Go ahead, Julie.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Joy. I'm Julie Brown. Joy, how do you get people to participate in your reading project? And I know that we're all supposed to share on our social media, and so I have to catch up on your instruction emails.
So how do I get authors to participate or get readers?
Readers.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been, and y'all know, those of you who have kind of been with me for a few years, it ebbs and flows with how many people actually come. I am thrilled to have several people with us tonight, live and in person. That is a huge thing that I've been hoping to get more of. I post on my social media. I post a lot in my newsletter. I have been doing a lot to grow my newsletter, to really get into the inboxes of actual readers who are interested in meeting new authors and getting to know about these books that they may not know about otherwise. So I've been doing some things behind the scenes to kind of build that audience. And then, yes, the authors share on their social media and their newsletters and things like that. I have not tried ads yet. That is actually something that I considered attempting this summer. So if any of you guys have had experience with like Facebook ads, I would really appreciate some help later, like if it would be worth it for something like this or not. I've never done anything with those. So I don't know if that would bring in more readers or not. But I think it's helpful that I make sure that the authors that I feature are authors I know my audience will like. Like, I'm not going to recommend a book that I don't think my readers are going to like, because why would I? I know that every single one of y'all's books, my readers are going to love. Anybody else have a question? For any of our authors, you can ask directly to one of the authors who's here tonight, or it can just be a more broad question. And the authors can ask questions too. I also have a few questions that are kind of tucked away. So I'm going to ask one of those right now. So since we are all Indie Author Project winners, I'm curious to know, and any of you guys can answer this, how has this award changed your author journey? What are maybe some exciting things that have come out of this for you guys and for your books this year?
Well, if I could just jump in, I can answer this with some interesting things that have happened to me recently. I think that it has been such an enormous opportunity, and I feel, in my experience so far, that the book is taken a lot more seriously, and there's a lot of weight that this award has carried for it. And I'll just tell this quick story. Before the book was before Blue Sky Gone was published, is if anyone's familiar with Fernandina Beach or Amelia Island here in Florida, there's a lot of authors that reside on Amelia Island and in Fernandina Beach. It's a really it's a beautiful area. But it's very kind of upscale, and there's 2 bookstores on the island or in Fernandina Beach. And I early on in my author journey, I kind of walked in thinking they were going to be like, "Wow, you wrote a book. That's great. We would love to have you do a book signing." And they basically were like, no. They wanted nothing to do with me. They kind of just said, well, we only take people that are from the island. And, they were kind of focused more on traditionally published authors, which I was pretty bummed about, because I know that indie authors are amazing. And I know that indie authors have such amazing stories to tell. So I'm such a huge advocate for indie authors and getting that, respect that we deserve out there. And they just did not want to hear anything from me whatsoever. So I just kind of revisited after I won the Florida Author Project Regional Award, and I reached out to them and I explained exactly what the award what the contest is about and what the award means, and that it's I'm the winner for Florida. And I was so surprised to get an email back to begin with, but not only just an email back, not even just a book signing. They're going to be doing. They've invited me to do around 9/11, the weekend of the anniversary, a ticketed event to be the, I think they call it a literary headline or whatever, where I'll actually be up on stage. There'll be the ticket price will include the cost of the book and their luncheon and a discussion about the book. So this is kind of my biggest opportunity yet, and I 100% credit the winning of the Florida Author Project for that. So I have found it to be incredibly helpful and really has boosted the book.
That's awesome. And that is so exciting. Oh my goodness, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add to that, agree with everything that Jennifer said. For me, it was also opportunities to speak at the libraries. I have 2 opportunities already lined up, and I'm hoping for more. And I received the ticket to go to the American Library Association. It's so convenient for me that it happens in Chicago. I don't have to travel very far. And I'm just hoping that I will meet people from all Illinois libraries and look for more opportunities to tell them that as a winner, maybe I can come speak at their libraries.
That's wonderful. And I am so excited to meet Alina and Annie in person because I'm going to Chicago. I'm so excited.
I wish I could go.
I put in order for a T-shirt that's for books. A little bit cheap, and I'll be ready to pass out in Chicago. But yeah, the first line of my book is just marriage or death, aren't they the same thing? And so I kind of was like, well, let me see if I can start some conversation. But I agree with you ladies, winning the award just kind of it takes you up a little bit of a step. And one thing that I found really useful is I'm a member of a couple of writing groups. And it was really nice for me to be able to share this program also with other writers here in Missouri, so that they were aware of it, because I think Missouri hasn't participated for very long. Mm-hmm. And this was my debut book as well. And so I'm just excited to share it with other writers and to have a little bit of notoriety. And I'm impressed by you ladies reaching out more. I need to do more of that. Part of the problem is I work for the local library, so they haven't asked me to speak too much there, but I have at a few writers' conferences. I've led some workshops because I have a Master of Fine Arts degree in theater. So I do a series called From Stage to Page, and it's how I use theater techniques in my writing. So, and I do write a lot of combat scenes. I used to be a professional stunt performer. That was before I broke my leg. And so I did a workshop recently at a writing conference about romance and fight scenes without getting tangled. And they had me in to do that and read that because I have an MFA in theater and because I had this award. So it definitely opens some doors.
I see a question here from Julie that I'm going to attempt to answer. So the Indie Authors Project is in a certain number of states, and so you have to be a resident of a state that is participating in the Indie Author Project. You can find that out from their website. I think you just Google them. You can find them, the Indie Author Project, and you can click and you can see what states and even some parts of Canada participate in it as well. And so if your state is participating, then you can submit your book to the contest. I do believe that this year's contest just closed, so you probably won't be able to do it this year, but it could be something you could do next year. So.
Yeah, and it is in California. I'm pretty positive about that. And I'll grab the link and put it here too for that.
I have a feeling I've seen the emails from Indie Author Project because it's so familiar. And I get, as many of us do, we sign up for all these newsletters. And so every day we open our email inboxes and find 30. Oh, what should I just delete and move on? And I feel like I'm clearing off my desk if I delete. So I guess I won't delete that one next time.
A lot of times they'll abbreviate it as IAP. So
yes,
that as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we also have a question from Terry. For those authors who write under pseudonyms, how do you choose your nom de plume? I got to say a fun word there. So does anybody actually write under a completely different name? Okay.
My first name is Annie, but I use a different last name because my married name is Smith, and there are a few of the Smiths in the world. So when I sat down, I also was thinking about how to reach through social media, website, and all that stuff to have a name that's not already taken, basically. So Lisenby is a family name from my grandmother, and she was a writer, and she wrote for a local paper in Springfield, Missouri. And so I chose that name kind of in honor of my grandmother, who was an avid reader. And my mom told me after she had passed, she said, it's too bad she never wrote that novel she wanted to write. So that one's for my grandma.
That's so neat and such a sweet way to honor her legacy.
Yeah.
Oh, so Alina says manuscript project contest will open soon. You want to tell a little bit about that?
Sure. So beside the contest that we won, there's also a manuscript contest. So if you have a kind of, just work in progress, maybe you just finished, have not edited, that you can submit that, and the winner, I think, gets to work with a professional cover designer, gets professional edit. So if you need help with those services and could use them for free, if you win the contest, that could be a plus publicity, recognition already, while you're still writing the book. So that could be a good contest for you to enter.
Is it through the Indie Author Project? It's the same organization?
Same organization, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing about that. I didn't even know about that. That's super cool. So do we have any other questions from anybody? We've got like 5 minutes left, so I want to make sure that we get to any questions that anyone else might have. Then I'm going to look at my list. Okay, so yeah, we just have a few minutes. So I am going to share a couple of things really quickly. And then if any of the authors want to share anything else before we go, we could do that. So 2 things to say. First, please check out that website I put in the chat. So joyerancatori.com/summer-reading. And that's where everything is. So we will start tomorrow with our very first post. Our first featured author week will begin next Monday, and that will be with J.S. Farmer. So she's going to get us started that week. So go ahead and check that out. Get your guidebook, your reading tracker and guidebook. Have all that ready and join in the fun. And then the second thing that I wanted to just share is we will have 2 more of these types of events. We've got on June 26th, that will be our mid-challenge boost. So this runs from tonight until July 30th. So we've got roughly 2 months. So that mid-challenge boost is to kind of keep us going and just give us the boost that we need to keep reading and keep up with the challenge. And Julie will be one of the authors who is participating in that. So you'll see her again. And our authors are going to share a little tip, a reading tip for your challenge. So you'll get that, and you'll also get to talk to them and find out about their books and ask them some questions. And then on July 30th, that will be our final one of these types of events, and that is our wine down. You don't have to bring your wine. You can bring whatever you'd like. But I thought it was a fun name. So July 30th, and that will be the night we will have some more authors. All of these lovely ladies, our featured authors, will be returning, as well as a couple of other authors from previous years. And it'll be similar to this, but we're also going to be giving away the grand prizes. So that will be the night we'll announce those winners. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we've got like 3 minutes left. Anybody want to say anything, ask anything?
I just want to commend Joy for bringing this event to fruition. I mean, I can only imagine how many hours you put in to gathering your people and putting up that whole spreadsheet thing. It's not a spreadsheet, like the packet that for people to download. And it's really remarkable, the work that you do. And you're such a sweet and knowledgeable person in this world, and you're so generous. So thank you.
Thank you.
I want to second that. Today looked through all the emails and all everything. I was like, oh my God, how much work Troy did. And just the idea of, it was your idea to have Zoom calls to meet all of us and to put together this, just taking such initiative and thinking through all this. I totally commend Joy for all the hard work.
Thank y'all. And this is a joy for me. And I, like Jen said, I am a huge advocate for indie authors. I'm super excited that the majority of the authors that I've had, and this summer our featured authors, of course, are all indie authors. And I think that we need a little extra boost every now and then, but it's just so much fun to get together with you guys, and then also to be able to share you with readers who I know are going to love your books. So that's pretty amazing for me. All right, well, I am going to go ahead and sign us off. I want to thank you all so much for being here tonight. I am super excited about this summer. Thank you so much, Terry. So yes, y'all are going to get to know Terry really well. I will call her my super reader, super fan. Like, she's amazing and incredible. So y'all are going to love her. And she's going to love y'all's books anyway. So thank you guys for coming. I hope that you have a blast. Oh, wait, we have a winner. I'm sorry. Somebody, this is like the big deal, and I almost forgot about it. Okay, so I have a little planter cup here. Okay, very quickly. All right. Terry. Terry, yeah, you won the Book Swag prize pack. I said it right twice. Man, this is amazing. All right, so I will be getting that to you, and it is amazing. It's full of all sorts of stuff, and yay. All right, so everybody have an amazing night. I can't wait to see you all again soon, and happy reading.